The evening sun stretched its golden rays over Manhattan, creating elongated shadows as Archer Reed emerged from his polished Tesla Model S. At just 31, he had accumulated a wealth that many could only fantasize about throughout their lives. His tech company, InnovateX, transformed sustainable energy solutions and catapulted him to multimillionaire status before he turned 30. He straightened his bespoke navy suit and checked his watch, a rare Patek Philippe that was worth more than some people's houses. Archer secured a table at Lumiere, one of New York's most sought-after dining establishments, where he was set to engage with potential investors. These dinners had settled into a familiar pattern for him. Impress the investors. Secure more funding. Expand the empire. Yet, despite all his success, a hollow feeling trailed him wherever he went. Upon Archer's arrival at the restaurant, the maitre d' instantly acknowledged his presence. "It's always a delight to see you, Mr. Reed. Your regular table is set and waiting for you." The restaurant radiated opulence, with crystal chandeliers casting a warm glow, soft jazz serenading the air, and the hushed conversations of New York's elite weaving tales of business ventures and weekend getaways in the Hamptons. Archer acknowledged with a courteous nod as he was guided to his table by the window, offering a view of Central Park. He glanced at his phone. The investors were delayed by 15 minutes. Standard fare. Everyone sought his attention, yet none honored its value. He requested a glass of 18-year-old Macallan served neat as he passed the time. With each sip of the amber liquid, memories of his childhood in rural Pennsylvania began to surface in his mind. His parents toiled at various jobs to ensure they could get by. When Archer was only 14, his father, a factory worker who aspired for a brighter future, passed away from a heart attack. His mother had given up everything to ensure he could attend college. She had departed 2 years prior, right when InnovateX was beginning to soar. At times, Archer found himself questioning whether all the achievements held any value when there was no one by his side to celebrate them. His musings were abruptly disrupted by a ruckus emanating from a nearby table. Two identical twin girls, approximately 10 years of age, were seated alongside an elderly woman who seemed to be their grandmother. The woman appeared weary, and the girls were unmistakably distressed. One of them was weeping openly while the other sought to console her sister. The grandmother found herself in a battle to soothe them, visibly frazzled by the chaos around her. A number of patrons cast them disapproving looks. Lumiere was not the kind of place that welcomed children, particularly those with strong feelings. Archer observed the staff maintaining their distance, clearly uncertain about how to navigate the situation without upsetting a paying customer. Archer found himself questioning the motivation behind his decision to engage. It could have been the recollection of his mother battling through her challenges alone, or perhaps it was simply a much-needed diversion from his hollow life. For reasons unknown, he rose to his feet and made his way over to their table. "Pardon me," he said softly, turning his attention to the grandmother. "Is everything okay? Is there any way I can assist you?" The woman gazed up at him, her eyes reflecting a blend of exhaustion and gratitude. "I sincerely apologize for the interruption. My granddaughters have just encountered some challenging news, and I'm concerned they're struggling to come to terms with it." The twins gazed up at Archer, their blue eyes shimmering with tears, perfectly mirroring each other. Their faces were adorned with the same golden locks, one styled in a ponytail while the other sported a headband. Amidst their turmoil, there was an unmistakable sense of familiarity about them that Archer found elusive. "I'm Olivia," said the one with the headband, her voice soft yet steady. "This is my sister, Sophia. She feels a deep sadness as our mom is once again in the hospital, and the uncertainty of her return weighs heavily on us." Sophia, tears streaming down her face, gave a small nod of affirmation. "I'm truly sorry to hear that," Archer said, kneeling to meet their gaze. "Archer is my name. During my mom's illness, a wave of sadness washed over me as well." He hadn't intended to reveal something so intimate, yet there was something about these girls that stirred a rare sense of vulnerability within him. At times, discussing joyful moments can provide comfort, even in our sorrow. What brings you immense joy? The inquiry caught the girls off guard, briefly pulling them away from their grief. I enjoy playing the violin, Sophia remarked, her tears beginning to fade a bit. Currently, I'm tackling a particularly challenging composition. Olivia nodded with great enthusiasm. I enjoy the art of painting. I'm creating a large mural in our room at home. Archer received a warm gaze of admiration from their grandmother. I appreciate your kindness, young man. My name is Eleanor Blackwood. We typically don't visit places like this, but it's the girl's birthday, and their mother, my daughter, had promised to bring them here before she. Her voice faded, careful not to disturb the girls any more than necessary. A realization dawned on Archer. Blackwood, he echoed. Could it be that your daughter is named Madeline? Eleanor's eyes grew large with astonishment. Indeed, Maddie is my daughter. Are you familiar with her? A torrent of memories surged through Archer's mind. Madeline Blackwood. They first crossed paths 11 years prior, during his final year of college, as he grappled with the challenges of launching his company. She was a creative soul, vibrant and unrestrained. All that he lacked. They had plunged into a whirlwind romance, but after 6 passionate months, she had called it off suddenly, claiming she needed to concentrate on her artistic pursuits. He was heartbroken but immersed himself in developing his business to escape the anguish. We were acquainted in college, Archer remarked thoughtfully, his gaze now focused more keenly on the twins. A decade old. The moment would be ideal. Those eyes belonged to his mother, reflecting the same rare shade of blue he encountered in the mirror each day. His heart raced as the weight of the implications settled in. Is it feasible? Had Madeline departed from him due to her pregnancy? Had she denied him the presence of his daughters all these years? Eleanor appeared to decipher his innermost musings. She scrutinized Archer with growing awareness, a spark of recognition illuminating her expression. Peruse. Your Archer has been read. Maddie brought you up. Countless instances throughout the years. The girls were absorbing this exchange with increasing intrigue. Are you familiar with our mother? Olivia inquired, her eyes sparkling with curiosity. Before Archer could gather his thoughts, Eleanor pressed on, her voice dropping to a whisper meant solely for him. Maybe we ought to have a private conversation about this, Mr. Reed. The girls have faced quite a lot today. Archer nodded, striving to keep his calm amidst the turmoil raging inside him. May I accompany you for dinner? He inquired, directing his attention to all 3 of them. I'm eager to learn more about your violin composition, Sophia, and your mural, Olivia. The girls shared glances before nodding together in agreement. All right, they consented, their previous unease now transformed into intrigue regarding the unfamiliar person who seemed to have a connection to their mother. As Archer took a seat with them, he gestured to the waiter to move his drink and cancel his previous reservation. The investors had the option to be patient. After years of focus on business, a new priority had emerged in his life. He messaged his assistant, urgent situation. Please rearrange the meeting scheduled for tonight. Then he focused entirely on the 2 little girls who, with each passing moment, seemed increasingly like they could be his daughters. The dinner unfolded with a curious blend of unease and affection. The girls, buoyed by Archer's interest, started to exchange tales about their school, their friendships, and their pastimes. Archer discovered that they possessed remarkable intelligence. Sophia had advanced a grade in math, while Olivia had already triumphed in multiple art competitions. In Brooklyn, they resided in an apartment situated above the art gallery owned by their mother. They had a deep affection for animals, yet the presence of Sophia's allergies prevented them from having pets. With every new discovery, Archer experienced an unusual blend of satisfaction and sorrow. A deep sense of pride in the remarkable individuals these children had become, intertwined with sorrow for all the moments he had lost. Eleanor observed Archer intently during the meal. As the girls indulged in dessert, she leaned in closer to him and whispered, "They don't know. Concerning you, I mean." Maddie often mentioned that she would reveal the truth when the moment was appropriate, but she let out a deep sigh. Maddie is battling leukemia. The treatments were progressing nicely, but she encountered a setback yesterday. The girls are understandably upset about this situation. Archer experienced a gut-wrenching sensation, as if he'd taken a blow to the abdomen. Madeline was gravely unwell, and there stood her daughters. He felt a growing conviction that they belonged to him, marking their birthday in the absence of their mother. "Why was she never open with me?" Archer inquired, struggling to mask the pain in his tone. Eleanor's demeanor became gentler. "Initially, she made an effort. She visited your apartment, only to find that you had already vacated the premises. Then she learned that you had ventured to California for a startup incubator. She composed letters that came back to her. Eventually, she persuaded herself that you would thrive without the weight of an unforeseen family as you focused on advancing your career. She kept up with your achievements in the headlines, however. The girls possess a scrapbook filled with articles about you, yet they remain unaware of the link. Maddie had always intended to share that with them and you when the time was right. Archer found it difficult to grasp this information. He had certainly acted swiftly following their separation. Overwhelmed by sorrow, he found it impossible to remain in the college town that held countless memories of Madeline. After nearly a year immersed in the vibrant atmosphere of Silicon Valley, he made his way back to New York to set up the headquarters for his company. Had destiny truly orchestrated a scheme to prevent him from discovering the existence of his own children for a whole 10 years? Or had Madeline not exerted enough effort to seek him out? The thoughts raced through his mind, yet as he observed the twins joyfully indulging in a chocolate souffle, he realized that placing blame mattered less than determining the next steps to take. "Could I go see Madeline in the hospital?" Eleanor was asked by Archer. "If they truly belong to me, I wish to be a part of their lives. I feel like I've fallen behind too much already." Eleanor observed him intently for a considerable time before she replied. "Currently, the hospital is permitting access only to immediate family members. However, I will inform her that you wish to meet with her." Regarding the girls, she looked at her granddaughters with affection. What they require at this moment is a sense of stability above all else. No matter the circumstances, their welfare must take precedence. Archer inclined his head in concurrence. "Absolutely. However, I must ascertain the truth without a doubt. Would you agree to undergo a DNA test?" The words emerged from his lips with an odd formality, almost legal in nature, when what he truly sought to understand was whether these beautiful, brilliant girls belonged to him. "Have I been a parent all this time without realizing it?" Eleanor gave a subtle nod. Maddie would desire that. She consistently believed that the girls should be introduced to their father when the moment was appropriate. As the evening came to an end, Archer felt a strong hesitation to say goodbye to the twins. During dinner, they had become quite fond of him, even sharing pictures from their grandmother's phone showcasing their artwork and violin performances. "Must you leave now?" Sophia inquired as Eleanor noted the lateness of the hour. "Tomorrow, we will be visiting Mom. Perhaps you might join us as well." The optimism in her voice caused a sharp pang in Archer's heart. "I understand that Mr. Reed has a lot on his plate," Eleanor started, but Archer cut her off. "I would genuinely appreciate the opportunity to keep in contact. Is it all right if I share my number with you?" He posed this question to Eleanor, who paused momentarily before giving a nod of agreement. They exchanged contact information, and Archer impulsively asked, "Which hospital is Madeline in?" "I wish to send a bouquet of blooms." Eleanor shared the information, yet Archer had a feeling she was aware that his plans extended beyond merely sending flowers. As they got ready to depart, Olivia pulled on Archer's sleeve. She expressed it plainly, "You enhanced our birthday." "Thank you very much." Archer sensed a tightness rising in his throat. It was a delight, he managed to express. Wishing a joyful birthday to Olivia and Sophia. He observed Eleanor guiding the girls toward the exit, their tiny hands fluttering in farewell to him. As soon as they disappeared from view, Archer slumped into his chair, his thoughts swirling with the significance of this unexpected meeting. If these girls were truly his daughters, his life would be irrevocably altered. Archer hardly found rest that night. The penthouse apartment, with its expansive floor-to-ceiling windows framing a sweeping view of the Manhattan skyline, had never seemed so devoid of life. He wandered the gleaming hardwood floors until dawn, his thoughts swirling with inquiries and potential outcomes. By morning, he had come to two conclusions. He planned to visit Memorial Sloan Kettering Cancer Center, where Eleanor had indicated that Madeline was receiving treatment. He would also reach out to his lawyer to explore the ramifications of possibly having two 10-year-old daughters he had never been aware of. Once he had a swift shower and slipped into more relaxed attire, jeans and a straightforward button-down instead of his typical suit, Archer reached out to his driver. "Take me to Memorial Sloan Kettering," he instructed, his voice revealing none of the inner turmoil he experienced. During the journey, he reached out to his personal assistant. "Please clear my calendar for the upcoming days. Urgent family matter." The words tasted peculiar as they rolled off his tongue. Kin. Up until yesterday, his family had been limited to distant cousins with whom he seldom communicated. He could possibly have daughters now. The idea was both daunting and thrilling. At the hospital, Archer selected the most lavish flower arrangement offered in the gift shop and made his way to the information desk. "I'm here to see Madeline Blackwood," he declared, attempting to convey a confidence that eluded him. The receptionist glanced at her computer screen. "Regrettably, sir, Ms. Blackwood is currently permitting only immediate family members to visit." Archer paused for a moment before stating, "Kindly inform her that Archer Reed has arrived. I believe she will want to meet with me." The woman cast a doubtful glance but proceeded to make the call. Following a short exchange, she gazed up at Archer, her expression one of astonishment. "Room 412. The elevators can be found to your right." Archer felt his heart race as he ascended in the elevator to the 4th floor. How has Madeline transformed over the years? Would she feel upset to see him? Content? The ambiguity was nearly intolerable. He approached room 412, rapping gently on the door before stepping inside. He was utterly unprepared for the scene that unfolded before him. Madeline, once a beacon of vibrancy and life, now lay in the hospital bed, her complexion pale and her form fragile. Her long blonde hair, the aspect he had cherished above all, was no more, a victim of chemotherapy. Yet her eyes, those captivating hazel eyes, remained unchanged, widening in disbelief upon seeing him. "Archer," she murmured, her tone fragile yet undeniably familiar. "You arrived." He moved to her bedside, placing the flowers gently on the table. "Maddie," he uttered, her old nickname escaping his lips effortlessly. "I encountered the girls last night. At Lumiere. They were alongside your mother." Madeline momentarily shut her eyes, as though summoning her inner resolve. "Eleanor shared with me. I didn't intend for you to discover it this way." The silent acknowledgement lingered in the atmosphere surrounding them. "Are they truly mine?" Archer inquired, fully aware of the response that awaited him. Madeline gave a slow, deliberate nod. "Absolutely. Olivia and Sophia are your children." Even though he had his suspicions, the moment the truth was articulated, Archer found himself completely taken aback. He settled into the chair next to her bed. "Why didn't you share this with me, Maddie? Throughout all these years?" His voice trembled with feeling. Madeline extended her hand towards his, frail and diminished by her illness. "I made an initial attempt. Upon discovering my pregnancy, I rushed to your apartment, only to find that you had already vacated the premises. Your roommate mentioned that you had traveled to California. I tried reaching you at your previous number, but it seems to be out of service." I even attempted to reach out to your mother, but she was unwell at that time as well, and I didn't want to impose on her. Archer recalled that moment, how he had altered his number, yearning to break free from the haunting memories of Madeline. He had immersed himself in his craft, relocating across the country without informing many. You could have put in more effort, he said, the accusation evident in his tone. Madeline's eyes brimmed with tears. Indeed, you are correct. I might have been able to. At just 22, I found myself overwhelmed and expecting twins. My parents have just severed financial support because I declined to abandon my passion for art in favor of the family business. Then I learned about your startup and the impressive progress you've made. I persuaded myself that you would thrive without us hindering your progress. Her words pierced through, yet Archer understood her viewpoint. He was intensely dedicated to his career at that time, putting in 18-hour days to launch his company successfully. Was he truly prepared for the journey of fatherhood? He felt uncertain. That decision wasn't yours to make by yourself, he finally stated. They are also my daughters. I deserve to be aware of them. Madeline nodded, her tears cascading down her cheeks. Indeed, you are correct. I acted out of self-interest. However, I had always intended to share this with you and them when the moment felt appropriate. Then illness struck, and everything transformed. Archer's fury melted away when confronted with her clear distress. How dire is it? He inquired gently. Madeline forced a smile that fell flat, lacking any warmth. Unimpressive. The cancer is fierce. The treatment was effective, yet this recent setback looms large. Her voice faded, the unvoiced implications hanging in the air. Archer experienced a chilling unease coiling within him. What about the young women? What fate awaits them? Madeline averted her gaze, peering through the window as the morning sun stretched its rays, creating elongated shadows. My mother has been providing assistance, but she is 72 years old. She struggles to manage 2 lively daughters by herself. I've been attempting to organize things, but it's quite intricate. Without a second thought, Archer exclaimed, I'll take them. The words caught him off guard, yet the moment they left his lips, he recognized their truth. If anything were to occur to you, I mean. They belong to my daughters. I wish to nurture them. Madeline examined his expression, probing for any hints of deceit. You really have no idea who they are, Archer. Your current circumstances aren't conducive to raising children. What about your organization, your journeys, your... She paused, uncertainty flickering in her eyes. Do you have a significant person in your life? A partner who may have thoughts on the unexpected journey of stepping into the role of a stepmother to twin girls? Archer gave a slight shake of his head. No one seems to take it seriously. There hasn't been one since. There was no need for him to complete the thought. As a result of your actions. Indeed, my life would transform. However, it ought to have transformed a decade ago. I have already missed too many moments in their lives. Madeline appeared to be contemplating his words with great thoughtfulness. They are truly remarkable, Archer. Incredibly intelligent and exceptionally compassionate. They would make you proud. Her voice faltered. I've shared your interviews featured in technology publications with them. Shared the story of an extraordinary individual who's transforming the world through sustainable energy solutions. I simply never revealed to them that the man was their father. A nurse stepped into the room, breaking the flow of their conversation. It's time for your medication, Ms. Blackwood. She cast a sharp glance at Archer. It's best to keep visits brief. Ms. Blackwood requires some time to recuperate. Archer rose with a sense of hesitation. He assured Madeline that he would return the following day. Furthermore, is it all right if I hang out with the girls for a bit? I don't need to reveal my identity just yet, not until we sort things out, but I'm eager to learn more about them. Madeline gave a faint nod. Eleanor will be delivering them this afternoon. How about meeting them at the park opposite the hospital around 4? They could really benefit from some fresh air. As Archer exited the hospital, his thoughts were still unraveling all that he had discovered. He was blessed with daughters. 2 remarkable and stunning daughters unaware of their father's identity. And their mother, the one who held his heart first, was battling for her very existence. He made a call to his lawyer while sitting in the car. "Jackson, could you please look into something for me? What steps are necessary to establish paternity for 10-year-old twins? What rights would I possess if their mother is unable to provide care for them?" The exchange was succinct yet enlightening. Determining legal paternity through DNA testing is a clear-cut process, yet navigating custody issues may prove to be more intricate, particularly if prior agreements exist. At 4 o'clock, Archer found himself perched on a bench in the quaint park opposite the hospital. He noticed Eleanor and the twins right away as they emerged from the hospital's main entrance. The girls appeared quiet, perhaps due to their visit with their ailing mother, yet their expressions lit up at the sight of Archer waving to them. "You've arrived!" Sophia shouted with delight, dashing ahead of her grandmother. Olivia trailed behind with a careful step, her face lit up by a smile. Eleanor's expression conveyed both astonishment and acceptance. "Mr. Reed," she recognized. "It was quite a surprise to encounter you again so soon." "This morning, I had a visit with Madeline," Archer said, his gaze directed at Eleanor while a smile played on his lips for the girls. "She brought up the idea of you bringing the girls here, and I thought it might be nice for all of us to enjoy some ice cream together. A wonderful spot awaits just around the corner." The twins' expressions brightened at the thought of ice cream, yet they turned to their grandmother, seeking her approval. Eleanor let out a soft sigh before giving a nod. "I guess that would be acceptable. After a challenging day, a little sweetness could be just what we need." As they strolled toward the ice cream parlor, the twins effortlessly matched their pace on either side of Archer, animatedly discussing their time spent with their mother. "Mom appears quite exhausted, yet she mentioned that the doctors are assisting her in feeling better," Olivia conveyed, her tone reflecting a blend of optimism and concern. Sophia remarked that she appreciated the drawings we brought her. She claimed they were the ultimate remedy. Archer listened, his heart heavy with empathy for the struggles these children faced, and for the realization that he had not been present to offer them support until this moment. At the ice cream shop, Archer observed with a sense of humor as the girls pondered their selections with the gravity of researchers on the brink of a groundbreaking revelation. Sophia ultimately decided on strawberry adorned with rainbow sprinkles, whereas Olivia opted for mint chocolate chip. "What flavor do you enjoy the most, Mr. Reed?" Olivia inquired while they occupied a quaint table near the window. "You can call me Archer," he said with a smile, "and I've always had a fondness for butter pecan." Sophia scrunched her nose in distaste. "That's a flavor for the older crowd," she declared, prompting Archer to burst into a hearty laugh, one that caught him off guard with its spontaneity. Eleanor observed their exchange with cautious curiosity. As the girls indulged in their ice cream, she leaned closer to Archer and whispered softly. "Maddie mentioned that you stopped by to see her. She also indicated that you are aware of the truth now." Archer nodded, his voice low and measured. "I wish to be included in their lives, Mrs. Blackwood. I feel like I've fallen behind too much already." Eleanor observed him, her demeanor becoming a touch gentler. "I understand that. Yet these girls have endured more than their fair share of turmoil. Regardless of the outcome, it must be approached with care and sensitivity." "Indeed," Archer responded. "I aim to avoid causing any confusion or distress for them." However, considering Madeline's situation, he found it impossible to complete the thought. Eleanor's eyes brimmed with tears, which she swiftly blinked away before the girls could catch a glimpse. "We are optimistic," she stated with conviction. "Maddie possesses great strength. She has triumphed over this challenge in the past." Archer acknowledged with a nod, fully aware that the circumstances were grave. Regardless, he stated, I'm not leaving. This time, no. Following their ice cream indulgence, they strolled through the park side by side. The twins, buoyed by the sweetness of treats and the warmth of the sun, dashed eagerly toward the playground. As Archer and Eleanor perched on the bench, observing the scene before them, Archer finally voiced the question that had been lingering in his mind. Do they ever inquire about their father? Eleanor let out a deep, weary sigh. Absolutely, they certainly do. Every child has a natural curiosity about their origins. Maddie explained that their father was an exceptional individual who had to leave for his job. He was unaware of their existence, but had he known, his affection for them would have been immense. Archer experienced a tightness in his throat. Even while withholding the truth, Madeline had portrayed him favorably to their daughters. I would have, he said softly. I truly adore them, I must say. Had I been aware. Eleanor gently placed her hand on his, surprising him. Your trust is appreciated. I encouraged Maddie to share this with you long ago. However, my daughter tends to be quite resolute once she has decided on something. That brought a faint smile to Archer's face. I recall that regarding her. Sophia ascended the monkey bars, her expression radiant with victory, as Olivia carefully built a castle in the sandbox. Archer noted their striking differences. Sophia is the fearless adventurer. Eleanor affirmed it has always been the case. She has inherited that trait from her mother. Olivia possesses a deeper level of contemplation and analysis. It brings to mind thoughts of you, based on what Maddie has shared with me. The thought that one of his daughters could possess his temperament enveloped Archer in a surprising sense of warmth. As the afternoon faded into early evening, Archer felt a strong hesitation to say goodbye to the twins. May I see them again tomorrow? He inquired of Eleanor as they got ready to depart. The elderly woman paused for a moment before giving a slight nod. Madeline mentioned that you might be interested in visiting the Natural History Museum. Sophia has been pleading to visit the dinosaur exhibit, and it would provide me with an opportunity to enjoy some quality time with Maddie, just the two of us. Archer eagerly accepted, thrilled at the thought of spending a whole day with his daughters, even though they were unaware of their connection to him. Parting ways with the girls proved to be more challenging for Archer than he had anticipated. Are you truly going to take us to see the dinosaurs tomorrow? Sophia inquired, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. Of course, Archer assured. I shall arrive to collect you at 10 o'clock. Olivia, quieter than her sister, observed Archer with a contemplative look. What's with all the kindness towards us? You hardly have any familiarity with us. The inquiry took Archer by surprise. How could he respond honestly without disclosing all the details? At times, he remarked thoughtfully, individuals enter our lives precisely when we require their presence. At times, individuals we encounter briefly can hold significant importance in our lives. Olivia pondered this for a moment before nodding, seemingly content with her conclusion. As if it were fate, she remarked with gravity. Or the phenomenon of quantum entanglement. Archer found himself chuckling uncontrollably. Precisely akin to quantum entanglement. Are you familiar with that? Olivia gave a nonchalant shrug. I delve into numerous science books. Once more, Archer experienced that wave of pride. At just 10 years old, his daughter showed a keen interest in quantum physics. Once they departed, Archer stood solitary in the park, observing the sun as it started to dip behind the Manhattan skyline. In less than a day, his entire existence had been turned upside down, yet oddly enough, he felt more centered than he had in a long time. He found a new motivation that transcended mere profit and the growth of his business. He had 2 daughters to understand, to shield, to cherish. And he had Madeline to make amends with, the woman who had shattered his heart and bestowed upon him the most extraordinary gift all at once. As he strolled back to his car, Archer's phone vibrated with a flurry of work notifications. Time-sensitive messages, invitations to discussions, choices that demanded immediate attention. For the first time in his journey, he turned a blind eye to them all. Certain matters held greater significance than mere commerce. He was tasked with preparing a museum and captivating the hearts of two little girls. Tomorrow marked the beginning of a genuine journey for them as a family, even if two of the daughters remained unaware of the significance of the day. Archer was filled with anticipation. Archer stirred from sleep ahead of his alarm the following morning, a jittery excitement pulsing within him. Today marked the beginning of his first complete day with the twins, his beloved daughters, and he yearned for everything to unfold flawlessly. He had dedicated a significant portion of the night to delving into the exhibits of the Natural History Museum, with a particular focus on the dinosaur hall that filled Sophia with such enthusiasm. He had even taken the initiative to call ahead and secure a private guide, one of the museum's paleontologists, to provide them with an exclusive tour. If he couldn't reveal to the girls that he was their father just yet, he could certainly strive to be the most awesome adult friend they'd ever known. At exactly 10 o'clock, Archer arrived at Eleanor's unassuming brownstone in Brooklyn. He chose to drive himself today instead of relying on his usual car service, seeking a more personal and understated experience. He had just tapped on the door when it swung wide, unveiling Sophia in a t-shirt adorned with a T-Rex, practically radiating enthusiasm. "Welcome. You have arrived. Grandma mentioned that you might have a lot on your plate, but I assured her you made a promise, and you strike me as someone who keeps their word." Her words spilled forth in a flurry that brought a smile to Archer's face. Olivia emerged from behind her sister, exuding a sense of composure, yet her eyes sparkled with an eager intensity that contradicted her tranquil exterior. "Hi, Archer," she said, experimenting with his first name, each syllable articulated with precision. "I compiled a detailed list of all the exhibits I wish to explore, meticulously arranged by floor and their significance in the scientific realm." She presented a meticulously crafted list adorned with check boxes. Archer felt a surge of emotion. She approached things with the same careful precision as he did. Eleanor stepped out of the kitchen, her weariness evident, yet a sense of gratitude lingered in her expression. "Thank you for doing this," she murmured softly. They've been awake since the break of day, meticulously packing their backpacks as if preparing for an adventure. The journey to the museum buzzed with lively conversation from the back seat, especially from Sophia, who appeared eager to impart every dinosaur fact she had at her disposal. "Have you heard that T-Rex had feathers? Not akin to bird feathers, but rather resembling fuzz. And their arms weren't truly that ineffective, they were capable of holding items close to their bodies." Olivia sometimes pointed out her sister's inaccuracies, resulting in playful banter that brought a smile to Archer's face. He was struck by how effortless this felt, taking his children to a museum, immersed in their lively chatter. It was all that he had never realized he desired. At the museum, Archer revealed the tickets for their exclusive tour, relishing the astonished expressions on the girls' faces. "Do we have our own guide for the scientists?" Sophia inhaled sharply, her eyes widening in surprise. "That's incredibly impressive." Olivia appeared captivated yet offered a more measured reaction. "That was incredibly considerate of you to organize," she remarked with a seriousness that belied her 10 years. Moments later, their guide, Dr. Martinez, arrived, a warm and engaging woman whose passion for paleontology was truly infectious. With a warm smile directed at the twins, she acknowledged the presence of some dinosaur enthusiasts among them today. "Prepare yourself for something delightful. We are about to explore some specimens that remain hidden from the general public's view." For the next 2 hours, Archer observed in wonder as his daughters took in every word spoken by Dr. Martinez. Sophia posed a multitude of inquiries, as Olivia meticulously jotted down notes in a petite notebook she had brought with her. Every now and then, one of them would take his hand, guiding him toward a fascinating fossil or exhibit. The gesture felt so instinctive and effortless that it tightened his throat with a swell of emotion. These remarkable, inquisitive children belonged to him, though they were yet unaware of it. As the hours ticked by, the burden of the secret he held grew increasingly oppressive. As they paused for lunch in the museum cafe, Olivia regarded Archer with a keen, discerning look. "Are you familiar with our mother? Are you from college?" The inquiry took him by surprise, and he almost sputtered on his lunch. Indeed, he acknowledged it after he had healed. "We shared a deep bond of friendship." Sophia leaned forward, her curiosity piqued. "Mom rarely mentions her college friends. How was she during that time?" Archer paused, contemplating the extent of his revelations. He finally admitted that she was an incredible artist, brimming with vitality and imagination. She had a unique ability to perceive the beauty in things that others often ignored. The girls shared a meaningful glance. "That reminds me of Mom," Sophia remarked with a faint smile. "Have you ever had the chance to view her artwork from that time?" Archer nodded, a flood of memories enveloping him. "I certainly did. I still possess one that she gifted me. It's displayed in my apartment." This wasn't entirely accurate. The painting was tucked away with other possessions he couldn't bring himself to let go of following their separation. Yet, he resolved to seek it out at the earliest opportunity. "Could we possibly take a look at it sometime?" Olivia inquired, her tone relaxed yet her gaze focused. "She keeps her past creations hidden from everyone. Claims it's humiliating." "I would appreciate that," Archer replied, his voice heavy with unspoken feelings. "Perhaps you both could visit at some point. The panorama of the city from my abode is truly remarkable." He quickly questioned whether that seemed odd, inviting kids he supposedly hardly knew to his place. Yet, the girls appeared unfazed by it. "Awesome," Sophia exclaimed with excitement. "Is there a pool at your place?" "Zach, our friend, has a pool in his building." Archer chuckled, feeling a wave of relief wash over him as they moved into safer territory. "I truly do. And a space for games." This garnered him affirmative gestures from both girls. Post-lunch, they delved into the remaining sections of the museum, with Archer allowing the twins to take charge, guided by Olivia's carefully crafted itinerary. In the Hall of Ocean Life, under the grand blue whale hanging from the ceiling, Sophia glanced at Archer, her expression contemplative. "Our mom is quite unwell," she stated suddenly. "The doctors assure us that she will improve, yet Grandma sheds tears when she believes we are unaware. Should adults refrain from informing children about potential negative events?" The question struck Archer with the force of a tangible impact. What could he possibly say in response to that? He spoke with caution, suggesting that adults often feel the need to shield their loved ones from harsh realities. It doesn't imply that they're being dishonest, precisely. They cling to the hope that their unwavering belief in a positive outcome will somehow bring it to fruition. Olivia, having absorbed the conversation, nodded in agreement. Similar to the concept of Schrödinger's cat. Should you choose not to open the box, every possibility remains intact. Archer found himself grinning at her allusion. Indeed, something along those lines. Sophia glanced back and forth, clearly struggling to keep up. Who is Schrödinger and what's the story behind his cat in a box? This prompted Archer to embark on a simplified explanation of quantum physics suitable for a 10-year-old, which unexpectedly evolved into an impromptu demonstration utilizing their lunch containers and napkins right in the heart of the museum hall. Curious glances were cast by other visitors as Archer animatedly delved into the concept of superposition, while the twins couldn't help but giggle at his ever more intricate metaphors. For a brief, cherished moment, they were simply a typical family enjoying each other's company, the weight of illness and hidden truths momentarily set aside. As the afternoon wore on, the twins began to exhibit signs of weariness, yet both resolutely insisted they were not tired. "Just one more exhibit," Sophia urged, while Olivia suppressed a yawn. "The gems and minerals have made it onto our list, and they are said to be truly remarkable." Archer glanced at his watch, aware that Eleanor awaited their return, yet he found himself unable to refuse them anything. "Okay, just one more. However, it seems we ought to return now." Your grandmother will be eagerly anticipating your arrival, and I have no doubt you'll wish to spend some time with your mom as well." In the grand hall of gems and minerals, the girls eagerly leaned in, their faces almost touching the glass cases that held dazzling specimens from every corner of the globe. Sophia announced her future aspirations, her breath misting the glass as she stood before a colossal amethyst geode, captivated by its beauty. "Just yesterday, you were set on becoming a paleontologist," Olivia pointed out with a playful eye roll, "and the day before that, you had your sights on being an astronaut." Sophia shrugged, unfazed. "Text, I hold a myriad of complexities," she remarked with a smile, evidently echoing something she had overheard from an adult. Archer observed them, a blend of delight and deep affection filling his heart. How had these remarkable children emerged from him? He had always been intensely concentrated, unwavering in his ambitions. Here stood Sophia, radiating boundless enthusiasm and ever-changing passions, while Olivia exuded a quiet intensity and a methodical approach to all she undertook. Despite their many differences, he found reflections of himself in both of them. Olivia's sharp analytical mind and Sophia's unwavering determination resonated with him deeply. As they returned to the car, a hush fell over the two girls, the thrill of the day settling in around them. "I appreciate today," Olivia remarked as Archer assisted her with her seatbelt. "It was the most enjoyable experience I've had since my mom fell ill." The straightforward declaration tightened around Archer's heart. "It was my pleasure," he expressed with genuine warmth. "I enjoyed myself as well. It was an experience filled with joy, unlike anything I've enjoyed in quite a while." In the rearview mirror, he noticed Sophia drifting into slumber, her head gently resting against the window. Olivia observed her sister with a gaze that conveyed a depth of care and concern beyond her years. "She feigns a courage that doesn't quite match her reality," Olivia remarked gently, catching Archer's reflection in the mirror. "At times, tears escape her eyes in the quiet of the night, yet she keeps this hidden from her grandmother. She believes she must be the resilient one." Archer took a deep breath. "And what about you?" he inquired softly. "For whom do you find the strength to stand tall?" Olivia pondered this question with her usual depth of reflection. "I document everything," she said at last. "Every emotion, every apprehension. Mom says that's my way of showing courage, confronting the frightening things by translating them into words where I can observe them." The journey back to Brooklyn unfolded in a serene hush, with Sophia peacefully asleep and Olivia lost in thought, her eyes wandering over the landscape. Every so often, she would gesture toward intriguing buildings or pose questions about the unfamiliar corners of the city. As they neared Eleanor's brownstone, Archer sensed an increasing hesitation to see the day come to a close. These cherished moments with his daughters had only solidified his conviction that he desired, yearned, to be an integral part of their lives forever, not merely as a casual friend of their mother's. Eleanor sat on the front steps, her face etched with concern, instantly triggering a sense of unease in Archer. He parked swiftly and assisted the now alert Sophia out of the vehicle as Olivia collected her backpack. "Is everything all right?" he inquired softly, his voice barely above a whisper. She gave a subtle shake of her head. "Maddie experienced a challenging day. The doctors are making adjustments to her medication, however." She cast a significant look at the twins, signaling that she had to hold her tongue in their presence. "Hey girls, why not head inside and freshen up?" Eleanor proposed. "After that, we can prepare to see your mother." The twins, aware of the underlying tension, chose not to engage in any argument. They expressed their gratitude to Archer once more for the museum outing, with Sophia offering him an impulsive hug that almost overwhelmed him entirely. Once they entered, Eleanor faced Archer, her eyes brimming with tears. "It's unfolding more rapidly than the physicians anticipated. The latest treatment is proving ineffective. They're discussing weeks now, not months." Archer experienced a sensation akin to the earth vanishing from under his feet. "Weeks," he echoed, his voice empty. Yet she appeared. Yesterday, she was speaking clearly and coherently. Eleanor gave a solemn nod. Maddie has always excelled at maintaining a courageous facade. She wished to spare the girls and you from any concern. However, she requested that I pass this along to you. She presented Archer with an envelope, his name elegantly inscribed in Madeline's unique script. She inquired whether you might be able to visit the hospital this evening, once the girls have returned home. She wishes to discuss with you the possibilities that lie ahead. With trembling hands, Archer grasped the envelope. Absolutely. I will be present. He was eager to open the letter right away, yet he sensed it would be impolite to do so in Eleanor's presence. Ought I to? Is it suitable for me to join all of you this evening? Would that be overly perplexing for the girls? Eleanor pondered this. I believe they would appreciate that. Their chatter about you has been relentless since yesterday. For the first time in weeks, I've witnessed a spark of genuine excitement in them. Archer assured them he would join them at the hospital later, then made his way back to his car. Once he found himself in solitude, he delicately unsealed the envelope that Eleanor had entrusted to him. Within lay a solitary sheet adorned with Madeline's elegant handwriting. While it exhibited some instability, it revealed her diminished state. Archer, the letter commenced, I carry a multitude of regrets, yet my greatest is the decision to keep Olivia and Sophia away from you. I convinced myself that my actions were in the best interest of all, yet deep down, I was simply afraid. Fearful of altering my existence, apprehensive about facing rejection, hesitant to reveal the two individuals I cherish above all else. I recognize that my actions were self-centered, and I sincerely apologize. Our daughters are remarkable, and they have every right to know their father. A remarkable individual who has accomplished extraordinary feats and whom I am confident will cherish them with the same intensity as I do. I'm reaching out to you at this moment to ask you to promise me that you will support them. Not only in terms of finances but genuinely involved in their lives. In the coming days, your presence will be essential. With all my heart, Maddie. Archer's face was wet with tears as he absorbed the words of the letter, reading and rereading it over and over. Any lingering anger or resentment he may have clung to vanished entirely. What truly mattered in this moment was standing by Madeline during her last days and being present for their daughters. He ignited the engine and navigated the streets toward his apartment, yearning for a refreshing shower to gather his thoughts before heading back to the hospital. While driving, he engaged in hands-free calls with his executive team, letting them know he would be taking an extended leave of absence for family reasons. The specifics could hold off. At this moment, his focus was unmistakable. That evening, Archer encountered the twins and Eleanor at the hospital. The girls appeared quiet after their visit with their mother, yet their expressions lit up upon spotting him in the lobby. You returned, Sophia remarked, her tone tinged with a hint of astonishment. I told you he would, Olivia replied, casting a knowing glance at Archer that implied she had uncovered his significance to their family, a truth they had not fully acknowledged before. Eleanor appeared weary, the burden of her daughter's sickness and her duties to her granddaughters evidently wearing her down. Would it be all right if I took the girls out for dinner while you spend some time with Madeline by yourself? Archer proposed. A respectable eatery lies just across the street, and I could have them returned within the hour. Eleanor appeared to breathe a sigh of relief at the proposal. That sounds fantastic, thank you so much. Make sure to have your phone close by, just in case anything shifts. The unvoiced worry lingered in the atmosphere, yet the twins, absorbed in the excitement of dinner with their new companion, appeared oblivious. The restaurant exuded a warm, inviting atmosphere, far more relaxed than Lumiere, the place where their paths had first crossed. As he savored the pasta and garlic bread, Archer was drawn into a series of ever more intimate inquiries from the twins. Do you have any children? Sophia inquired directly, twisting the spaghetti around her fork with a casual grace. Archer almost sputtered on his drink. He responded honestly. I have no children. The unsaid, which I was aware of, lingered quietly in his thoughts. What's stopping us? Sophia nudged, receiving a sharp jab from her sister. Sophia, that was quite impolite. Perhaps he simply hasn't encountered the right individual yet. Archer regarded Olivia's effort to embrace maturity with a knowing smile. It's all right. Indeed, you are correct, Olivia. The search for the right person continues. Not at all, not since your mother. The words escaped his lips before he had a chance to hold them back. Both girls halted, their forks poised in the air, caught in a moment of stillness. Both you and your mother? Sophia inquired, her eyes wide with curiosity. Were you two, like, a couple? Archer paused, uncertain about how much to disclose before conferring with Madeline. We were close, he remarked with caution. Extremely near. Yet, in our youth, our paths diverged. The twins shared a moment of unspoken understanding, their eyes locking in a way that suggested a whole dialogue had passed between them in an instant. Is that the reason you're assisting us at this moment? Olivia inquired. Is it because you and Mom were once a couple? Archer nodded, appreciative of the clear and thoughtful explanation she had offered. Somewhat yes. When I spotted you at the restaurant, I had no clue you were Madeline's daughters. However, after realizing my feelings, I felt a strong desire to reconnect with both her and you as well. This held true to the extent that it did. Sophia appeared contemplative, a seldom seen look on her usually lively visage. Mom cherishes a photograph of a man that she stores in her treasured box. She believes we are unaware, but we discovered it previously while searching for birthday gifts. The man resembles you, but with a youthful twist. Featuring extended locks. Archer sensed his heart racing. Madeline had held on to his photo all these years. He conceded that it could have been him. During my college years, my hair was indeed longer. Honestly, this isn't my finest appearance. Suddenly, the flow of the conversation was disrupted by the sharp ring of Archer's phone. Eleanor was the one. You need to come back, she urged, her voice thick with feeling. Maddie is reaching out to everyone. The intensity in her voice prompted Archer to swiftly request the bill. He assured us that we would arrive shortly. He ended the call and turned to face the twins, striving to maintain a composed demeanor even as anxiety surged inside him. Your grandmother mentioned that your mom would like to see us. It's time for us to make our way back now. The girls, aware of the change in the air, remained silent. They swiftly collected their belongings and trailed after Archer towards the hospital. In the elevator, Sophia gently intertwined her small hand with Archer's, a gesture so instinctive and full of trust that it almost shattered him. On his other side, Olivia stood with poise, her expression calm yet her eyes betrayed a flicker of apprehension. It's going to be okay, Archer said softly, squeezing Sophia's hand while his other hand rested gently on Olivia's shoulder. Text regardless of the circumstances, I assure you that solitude will not be your companion. He felt it deeply, with every part of himself. Upon entering Madeline's room, they discovered her sitting up in bed, her complexion wan but her eyes bright with awareness. Eleanor sat beside her, gently clasping her hand. The scene captivated Archer with its blend of beauty and heartbreak. A mother and daughter standing by one another in the face of the unimaginable. Madeline's expression lit up at the sight of the twins, her arms extending in a warm embrace. My beloved daughters, she exclaimed as they hurried to her side. Did you enjoy your dinner with Archer? They exchanged glances, a sudden shyness enveloping them as they confronted their mother's delicate state. Madeline and Archer exchanged a glance, their eyes locking above the playful chaos of their daughter's antics. Archer, she murmured gently, I appreciate you returning. The gravity of those straightforward words lingered in the air, a recognition of his comeback not only to the hospital but to their lives after a long absence. Always, he replied, inching closer to the bed. Madeline turned to the twins with a certain expression. Olivia, Sophia, I have something significant to discuss with you both. There's something I've been meaning to share with you for quite a while now. Archer sensed a sudden tightness in his chest. Would she reveal it to them at this moment? Here it is. He was caught off guard. Yet, the words that followed from Madeline brought him comfort. Archer is more than a mere acquaintance from my college days. He held a unique place in my heart, the most significant person in my life prior to your arrival. The twins absorbed the conversation with keen interest. Sophia curled up against her mother's side, while Olivia remained poised, her sharp mind diligently taking in every detail. He will hold a unique significance for both of you in the times to come. I've requested his assistance in helping Grandma take care of you, and he has consented. Similar to a protector. Olivia inquired about her vocabulary, which is consistently remarkable for someone her age. Madeline gave a subtle nod. Indeed, something along those lines. A steadfast presence, unwavering through all circumstances. She cast another look at Archer, an unspoken understanding flowing between them. Not just yet, her eyes appeared to convey. Take it one step at a time. Archer grasped the situation. The girls were managing quite a lot at the moment. The complete truth could hold off for just a bit more. Sophia glanced between her mother and Archer, her gaze shifting back and forth. Is this a result of your decline rather than improvement? She inquired directly. The question lingered, its straightforwardness piercing the delicate veils of language the grown-ups had employed. Madeline's eyes brimmed with tears, yet she remained truthful. The medication isn't performing as we had anticipated, my dear. Absolutely, I want to ensure that you and your sister are well looked after, regardless of the circumstances. Olivia's calm facade finally shattered, tears cascading down her cheeks. However, improvement is on the horizon for you. It is necessary for you to do so. Madeline drew her in, wrapping both twins in a warm embrace. I'm battling with all my strength, my dear. Yet, there are moments when, despite our fiercest efforts, the results elude us. In those moments, having the support of those who care for us becomes essential. Archer lingered uneasily at the foot of the bed, sensing himself as an unwelcome presence in this deeply intimate family scene, while simultaneously feeling an undeniable connection to it. Eleanor, who had remained quiet until this moment, finally broke her silence. Ladies, let's allow your mother and Archer some time to have a conversation. Let's head to the cafeteria and grab some hot chocolate. The twins hesitated at the thought of departing, yet a soft push from their mother swayed them to go. Madeline assured, I'll be right here when you return. Perhaps Archer could take some time to read to everyone. The proposal appeared to satisfy the girls, who trailed their grandmother out of the room, casting lingering looks over their shoulders. Once they found themselves in solitude, Madeline's courageous mask began to falter just a bit. It's unfolding so quickly, she murmured. The physician indicated that I was supposed to have months left, yet my body seems to be unresponsive to anything now. Archer stepped closer, gently grasping her hand. It seemed diminutive, so delicate in contrast to the lively woman he recalled. She reiterated her earlier statement to the girls. I desire your presence in their lives. However, there are additional matters we must address. Archer nodded, his throat constricted, rendering him speechless. According to the law, Madeline stated, my mother holds the position of their guardian. That was set up long ago. However, she isn't young, Archer. She is unable to manage the upbringing of two 10-year-old girls by herself. She inhaled unsteadily. I have drafted documents recognizing you as their father. Once you have a DNA test to validate it, you will secure your parental rights. However, I don't wish to impose them upon you. If you have reconsidered your decision. I haven't, Archer interjected with conviction. Maddie, those 24 hours I spent with them were truly unforgettable, they are the most remarkable children I've ever encountered. And they belong to us. I aspire to be their father in every sense that truly counts, beyond just the legalities. Madeline's expression transformed, revealing a sense of relief. Your response was just what I was wishing for. My attorney has everything in order. Eleanor is aware of the location of the papers. She grasped his hand with a faint pressure. Yet, Archer made a promise to me. Please don't remove them entirely from Eleanor's life. She cherishes them deeply, and they require that bond with me. Absolutely not, Archer reassured her. We'll navigate this together, including all aspects of shared living arrangements. Your mother will forever hold the title of their grandmother. And, he added, his voice trembling, they'll forever understand the depth of their mother's love for them. Madeline's smile shone even as tears streamed down her face. Thank you, she murmured. For granting me your forgiveness. For embracing them. For returning just when we required your presence the most. The tranquility was broken by the arrival of the twins and Eleanor, the girls holding paper cups filled with hot chocolate, each crowned with a swirl of whipped cream. Mom, Grandma said we could stay an extra hour tonight, Sophia declared, chocolate smudged around her mouth. And Archer assured us he would read to us, don't you recall? Madeline beamed at her daughter's excitement. I recall. Why not choose a book from that shelf over yonder? The nurses provided some for us. As Sophia dashed away to choose a book, Olivia moved toward Archer with a sense of hesitation. Are you truly going to help take care of us? She asked, her voice soft yet unwavering. Archer lowered himself to her height, gazing into eyes that mirrored his own. Indeed, he declared with unwavering confidence. I assure you. Olivia examined his face with an intense gaze that appeared to pierce directly into his very essence. Whatever discovery she made seemed to please her, as she nodded firmly before moving to join her sister at the bookshelf. For the next hour, Archer remained by Madeline's bedside, engrossed in the pages of the book chosen by the twins. A captivating tale unfolds as a brother and sister uncover their hidden magical abilities, embarking on an extraordinary journey filled with wonder and adventure. The girls huddled onto the bed with their mother, while Eleanor settled into a chair across the room. To any observer, they could have appeared as an ordinary family sharing a bedtime tale. Only Archer and the grown-ups understood just how delicate and invaluable this moment really was. A fleeting moment of tranquility preceding the impending chaos. 3 weeks later, Archer found himself standing between Olivia and Sophia, each grasping one of his hands as they stared at the unadorned headstone. Madeline Grace Blackwood. Cherished mother, daughter, and creator. Always cherished in our memories. The crisp autumn leaves danced around their feet as they laid fresh flowers at the grave. Madeline departed quietly, 5 days following their reading session in the hospital, enveloped by the presence of her family. Her last message to Archer was to convey it when the moment was appropriate. The moment arrived more quickly than anticipated. The evening following the funeral, Sophia stumbled upon the vintage photo album in Madeline's studio as she assisted Eleanor in packing up some belongings. The picture of young Archer with his arm around Madeline had slipped out, accompanied by a handwritten note Madeline had crafted for the twins, revealing that Archer was their father. The ensuing confrontation was filled with tears, yet it led to a sense of healing in the end. The girls, each in their unique manner, had come to terms with the revelation. Sophia, brimming with a flurry of questions and emotions, while Olivia engaged in serene reflection, punctuated by methodical queries regarding the forthcoming events. 2 weeks have passed since the revelation, and they are beginning to establish a new rhythm in their lives. Archer acquired a brownstone just a few doors away from Eleanor's, allowing the girls to keep their bond with their grandmother while also forging a connection with their father. He had stepped away from the daily management of his company, entrusting his reliable COO with the routine operations as he dedicated himself to parenting. The transition was not without its bumps. Archer discovered that having millions in the bank did little to ease the trials of untangling his daughter's hair or settling their sisterly squabbles. Yet each day unveiled fresh revelations and strengthened connections. I believe Mom would find joy in this moment, Sophia murmured gently, shattering the reflective stillness at the gravesite. She always wished for us to be acquainted with you. Archer clasped her hand softly. I believe that's right, my friend. Olivia, always the pragmatist, gazed up at him with those discerning eyes that echoed his own reflections. In the spring, she proposed we should plant wildflowers here. My mother often remarked that gardens become far more captivating when you allow them to flourish in their own untamed way. Archer nodded, his throat constricted with feeling. That's an excellent concept. Eleanor approached, placing her bouquet gently next to the girls. They gathered as one, an unexpected family shaped by grief yet held together by affection. As they were about to depart, Sophia suddenly inquired, "Can we get ice cream?" Mom would definitely encourage us to enjoy some ice cream. Archer and Eleanor shared a knowing look, followed by a smile of mutual understanding. Without a doubt, Archer replied. Your mother always had a weakness for a delightful ice cream cone. As they strolled back to the cars, Olivia intertwined her fingers with Archer's once more. Dad, she said, experimenting with the word that still felt unfamiliar on her tongue. I completed the book on quantum physics that you lent me. How about we conduct some experiments this weekend? Archer experienced a profound surge of affection and pride. He responded, there's nothing that could bring me more joy. On his other side, Sophia was already contemplating which flavor to choose, her innate enthusiasm gradually resurfacing. Archer glanced between his daughters, then lifted his gaze to the pristine blue sky above. 10 days prior, he existed as a solitary millionaire, relying solely on his work to occupy the void in his existence. By a twist of fate and circumstance, he found himself a father to 2 remarkable daughters who were revealing to him the essence of what truly matters. As they approached the cars, Eleanor locked eyes with him and offered a nod of approval, silently conveying that he was on the right track. For the first time since discovering his daughters, Archer genuinely felt that everything would turn out fine. Imperfect and filled with challenges, yet still acceptable. And that sufficed. If this video resonates with you and you crave more content of this nature, be sure to click that subscribe button and activate the notification bell. In this manner, you'll ensure you don't overlook any of the incredible narratives or videos we have in store for you. Your encouragement truly fuels the channel's growth and allows us to continue delivering the content you enjoy. Thanks a lot. This narrative resonated with many of us here, and we trust it stirred something within you as well. If you appreciated this content and wish to support the channel, you can now utilize YouTube's Super Thanks feature. Simply click the button below. We invite you to share your insights in the comments section. What stood out to you the most in this narrative? Have you ever found yourself at an unforeseen gathering of family members? Kindly share this video with anyone who could use a gentle nudge about the significance of second chances and the strength of family connections. Catch you in the next video.